Hey everybody, how is it going today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about some really cheap penny stocks again, and one in particular that I took a position in because I think the chart pattern looks absolutely dynamite. And then after that, I'm going to get into one of your questions. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in each video I will show you trades that I see setting up right now. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, if you would like to support the channel and become part of our Patreon community and see what we are buying and selling in real time for a measly $10 a month, that link is in the description. All right, let's get into these charts, but before I get started, if you don't mind doing me a small favor and liking the smash button and helping me out with the YouTube algorithm for making this video, I would greatly appreciate it. But please remember, there is a lot of risk with these lower price penny stocks. I am not a financial advisor. All this is just my opinion. Please make all of your own trading decisions. Now, with all that being said, the first one I want to talk about is one I actually bought today. This one is Protext Mobility Incorporated, ticker symbol TXTM. As we can see, this stock is making a beautiful chart pattern. This is exactly what I look for right here, and usually once they get this day right here, this big green candle, that's when I like to enter. Unfortunately, I missed it yesterday, but I got some of it today. It is a little bit extended. I mean, in yesterday's candle, it was up 61%. I mean, that's a little bit more than I would like to pay, but this is a very cheap stock. It's 0.0063 where I got in at, so I'm down probably just a hair. But if this pattern continues upward, then this should be a pretty nice trade for me. I think that we could be just in the beginning stages of this uptrend. Hopefully this thing starts to go parabolic, because you can see all of this volume that's been pouring into TXTM. So I'm going to take a let me see if I can get this to work. I'm going to take a shot on TXTM, but you can see the increase in volume lately, and this thing just held up perfectly, just consolidated at those higher levels, and now we're getting that very green bullish candle, and this thing looks poised to take out this old high above 0.008. So hopefully that is what happens, because like I said, I did take a position in this one. Now let me get rid of this bubble right here. Now, where I would normally get out of this trade, it would be right below this 8-period exponential moving average, and usually below this little bit of support that it has right here. Now, the trouble with these lower price penny stocks is these things can move really far, really fast, and then come right back. So they're a little bit trickier when you're placing your stop below a moving average, because a stock like this can blast down below that moving average in the blink of an eye and be right back above it just as fast. So unfortunately, that triggers a lot of stops. So normally, I like to not put a stop loss in the market, and that is extremely dangerous with these lower price stocks, because you know the bottom can fall out in these things just as fast. So I usually take a little bit of a smaller position in these stocks to compensate for that extra risk. But I don't like putting those stop losses in personally, because more often than not, when I used to trade these things in the past, they would come right back down, trigger my stop loss, take my shares away from me, and then you check it, 20 minutes later, and it'd be way back above that moving average. So with these ones, I don't like to play that. I don't like to put that stop loss in. And if it closes below this 8-period exponential moving average, say if it closed down here below 4.004, that's usually when I would get out of the stock and just look for the next one. I don't like to be in these type of stocks at all unless they are above this white line, above this 8-period exponential moving average. That is a rule that I have with these really, really cheap stocks. If another stock that I own is, a higher price stock, I'll give it a little bit of leeway. But these stocks, once they get below that 8-period exponential moving average, they tend to stay below it. So these are usually just momentum trades for me, but I think TXTM is looking pretty good at the moment, and hopefully it should be taking out a new high here real soon. All right, the next one I want to talk about is one I've talked about several times. It's Net Savings Link Incorporated, ticker symbol NSAV. And by the way, all the stocks I'm going to be talking about in this video are really cheap penny stocks. So if that's something you're not interested in, then I guess you can click off, but I will get back to trading the regular stocks and talking about the regular stocks more in a little bit. I'm just a little very excited because I haven't been able to trade these really cheap penny stocks in a long time. Have been like pouring over these penny stock charts, a little obsessed at the moment. you know how it is, like when you get into a new hobby, like baseball card collecting or whatever, you can't stop, you know, looking at them or thinking about it for a few days or weeks, or, you know, binge watching a new show that you just found that you really like, and you just can't help it. Or, you know, wearing women's underwear. I mean, not what I do. I'm just speaking in generalities. What, you know, people get obsessed with that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'll get back to the regular stocks before too long. But I talked about net savings link a couple of times, and actually yesterday I wanted to buy this when it came down to the 8-period exponential moving average for a day trade. You can day trade these ones as well. But man, I forgot to put my order in. I was going to put it in at like 7.075, and that would have been a good day trade, because I mean, if it just coming up from that level where it closed, that would have been a 22% move, and if you were still holding it today, that would be a 36% move. So you can day trade these penny stocks as well, and as you can see, net savings link bounced perfectly off that 8-period exponential moving average today, so that would have been another great day trade for net savings link incorporated. But the real point I wanted to get to on this chart is this thing is holding up quite nicely. I mean, if this thing can continue holding right around 10 cents or so until this white line gets a little closer, this thing could be moving up again. So, I mean, with this stock could have only just started going up. So the chart for net saving links still looks really good. The next one I want to talk about is 88 Energy Limited. I've talked about this one many times as well. Let me back up. I talked about how this thing was going sideways and was starting to round up nicely. It was starting to build some momentum, and it just keeps chugging along, man. It's up another 11% today. It's breaking to a new relative high above that high that it made in early July. So I don't know. This one might have bottom. It might be on its way up. And now if this thing can start to go sideways and, you know, hold this moving average, kind of like what it was doing here, but not failing it. If it could hold it and go sideways, then it prints another one of these nice green bars, just like it did right around here or so. I think this one could be off to the races again. I have Fidelity, and Fidelity unfortunately charges a $50 fee to trade this one, so I probably won't be getting some of this. I don't know, it depends on how good it looks, but that's pretty steep. You know, $100 for a round trip on a penny stock like this is insane. I don't know why they have to charge that much, but hey, whatever. Some of you guys have the ability to trade this one. I think that chart pattern is looking pretty darn good. Another one I want to talk about that I found that looks pretty good is IFUS. If we look at IFUS, this thing is only trading at 3 cents right now. Now, I would actually like to see it kind of go sideways just a little bit longer after it has an initial move up. But, you know, if we back this chart out, we can see that it's been going sideways for a long time. So this could just be, you know, that first little blip that you just barely notice once the stock really takes off. I mean, you never know how high these things are going to go. But if this thing continues to move sideways like it's doing right now, and these moving averages catch up, I mean, this one could be blasting off as well. So just another great looking chart. Another one I want to talk about is ASTA. This one is taking off. This was an absolutely beautiful pattern right here. This is exactly what I look for, and I like to enter on this day right here. Unfortunately, I checked Fidelity, and they don't let me trade this one, so I'm not going to be able to trade all these stocks, but I wanted to show you guys these charts anyway, because, I mean, these things are looking absolutely beautiful. This one looks like it could be just starting its move. Let me get this out of here real quick. I mean, even though today it's up, it's only up. Actually, it's break even right now. When I just looked at it a second ago, it was up only 2%. So this thing isn't really that far extended, and it's not even up to a whole penny yet. So this thing could really get moving. So ASTA, if you guys have the ability to trade this one is definitely worth looking into. The only thing that I don't like about it is the volume. Doesn't really seem like it's there like it was on this first move up. I'd like to see a little bit more volume, but I can't even trade this one anyway, so it's not a big deal, but I did want to show you guys that one. Next one I want to talk about is IFXY. IFXY, it looks like it's starting to build up some momentum. We got a little bit of a bullish triangle formation forming here, and the lows are definitely getting higher, so this thing could be breaking up past a penny before too long. The volume hasn't really started coming in yet, but this thing hasn't broken out yet, so you don't really need that huge volume yet. If you get a move up above 0.005 on this one, and it's accompanied by some pretty good volume, this thing could be off to the races. I'm trying to show you ones that I'm seeing where the chart pattern is really starting to pick up steam, and potentially maybe it has just started the beginning phases of moving up or is winding up to move up. So you guys make the decision if you guys want to participate in some of these, but I'm just trying to show you the best looking chart patterns that I am seeing right now. Another one that I was showing was, or I was looking at that was looking pretty good, was GTHR. GTHR is looking really good. The volume is really starting to pour into this one, and it's hanging up near those highs. So if this moving average catches up to it, this thing could be you know, catapulting right back up. You know, this is what you don't want to see when it comes back down to this moving average and there's basically no movement. That's when, you know, I don't get interested. But when you get a hold and then it starts to print one of those nice green candles that look bullish, kind of like this one, that's when I get really excited about potentially getting one of these that really start taking off. The next one I want to talk about is CPSL. CPSL, Catapult Solutions. That's a good name for this one because this one could be catapulting up soon. But if you back up this chart, I mean, you can see this thing has just been inching up along these last few months, and this is straight accumulation, and this is strong accumulation. Normally, regular accumulation just kind of goes sideways, but when it keeps drifting up, that means there is very little for sale, and they have to keep pushing the envelope up in order to accumulate some more shares. And normally when you get a weak uptrend like this, you kind of get a move up, and then it comes back down on to a high and then takes off. You know, usually you'll see like a move up right here, and you'll expect it to kind of come down and touch this support area and then take off. Well, Catapult Solutions didn't even do that. So there is just a lot of strength and a lot of accumulation going on with this stock. I wouldn't want to buy this until it pulled back a little bit, but there is no denying the accumulation that's going on in CPSL. Another one that I want to talk about is AMLH. Back out on AMLH, we can see this one has been under accumulation as well. This is a very cheap stock, so this is one I'm gonna keep on my radar. And if this thing can either continue to move sideways or if it has a decent move up and then a pullback, I'm going to be really interested in this one. You can see all the volume that's been coming in these last several months or so. So all I'm waiting for this one is potentially a big move up and then a pullback, or kind of a sideways move and then starting to climb up those moving averages. But AMLH definitely look like it's under some quiet accumulation right now. And the last one I want to talk about was actually a question from Derek Howell. He asked me to look at WCVC. Let me zoom in a little closer here. Now, WCVC, this is usually how the stock looks after it has a big move up and then kind of has to go sideways for a little bit. So what you could do for this one, if you're not in it, if you wanted to get in near the bottom and it's a little bit more of a gamble, I mean, you could buy it right now and hope that it just continues sideways and then, you know, starts to explode and then you'll get in really close to the bottom. I personally like to wait till they start moving up first and buy them as they pull into those moving averages. But if you like getting in towards the bottom, this is definitely the pattern you want to look for. And if it just fades, you know, say below this level here where it first started to take off, if you were going to buy right here, that's where I would probably just close out the trade. It's probably not going to go anywhere for a while if it ends up breaking below this level. But if you're in this stock and you haven't sold, I would just kind of sit tight, Derek. But if you're considering buying it, if you do buy it at this point in the chart, you might have to sit for quite a while, and you know, this thing might end up just fading down into nothing as well. So I like to buy them when they're already above, you know, these moving averages and everything is kind of pointing up, and trying to catch this like this blow off parabolic move. That's what I like to do. I mean, some people, like I said, like to accumulate when it's low and play a little bit more of a gamble. But if you do get that explosion, you're getting much more of a percentage gain than I would, you know, when I'm trying to catch this momentum as it's going up. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you have any other ones you want me to take a look at, please leave it down there in the comments section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.